Laura Robb, and today we're going to talk about hopes and dreams and turning points, and it kind of relates to what the other two girls talked about in their testimonies. But first, I'm going to read you a poem that I wrote a few years ago, so you can just listen to this part first. The world around me stares, not quite knowing what to say. Young ones and old, all have spoken, strange words, words of unawares, words that speak deeply to me, revealing the heart of their soul. Such moments I do recall from my earlier years, stifling the true self. But I've come to understand how those awkward words brought a new strength, burning a desire to lay bare what is behind my blue eyes and under this red hair is just another person with much to share. So I was born with a disability called arthrogryposis, and that means a lack of muscle mass. And I always tell people that I looked like a pretzel when I was born, because that's the best way to describe how my arms and my legs were all twisted up, and I was in a little ball, and I had to have lots of physical therapy, especially my first 2 years of life, and I had therapy all the way through high school. So that helped me to be what I would say be more normal, because in my mind I am normal, which might sound strange to you guys, because on the outside I don't look normal, but I grew up thinking I am normal, and I wanted other people to see me as normal. I went to public school all my growing up years, and I went there thinking, I'm normal. I want all these kids to think I'm normal. But there were a few elements that were not quite normal. I got my first wheelchair in 7th grade, which that became an extension of me, and I thought this helps me be more normal. And then in 3rd grade, I had back surgery, and I was out for a while, and that definitely was not normal. And the kids, of course, didn't fully understand. I didn't fully understand at the time because I was only 8 years old. And then in 4th grade, I felt pretty normal when I had my first boyfriend. And I thought, ooh, this is fun. This guy likes me too. And then later on in like 5th grade and 6th grade, there were other things that were not quite normal. My friends started to argue and fight over who was going to help me do what in which class. And I was like, I don't really like this because they're making me feel like I'm different because I'm being made aware that I need help, and I just wanted to be accepted as their friend and not really worry about these limitations I had. So that kind of stirred up things in middle school. But I still try to think I'm normal. I feel normal. I want them to see me as normal. So high school years, of course you're growing up and you're thinking, oh, college is going to come after high school. And my senior year, I knew I was going to college and where I was going at the beginning of the year. And the verse for my year that year was, many are the plans in a man's heart, but it is the Lord's purpose that prevails. And so the whole year, I actually was not very happy during my senior year, because mentally, I was already in college. I was ready to go. I was ready to get out of there, and I was not invested in my friendships or really anything. I was ready to go. So I want to say, like, we all have those turning points. We all, like when we're in middle school, we want to hurry up and get to high school. When we're in high school, we're ready to go to college. And then in college, maybe we enjoy that time a little bit more before we're ready to go to adulthood. But in between, it's like we're constantly chasing contentment in our next turning point and waiting for that next thing. And so our hope and our dreams, they get attached to what we want and when we want them to happen, and we become future focused. And I know my senior year, I was definitely focused on the future and not living where I was. I was not really loving my right now at all, and I'm sure I missed out on a lot of the joys of the last year of high school. And I was forgetting to really live them and focus on that. So I went to college, and there, of course, I loved my right now because I was ready to go. I was ready to be there. And I had normal dreams that related to going to college, and I actually went away from home for those 4 years. And then after that, I had other normal dreams about being independent, one day getting married, and all these things that adults do. So I lived my 20s with these thoughts in my mind. Like, oh yeah, the future's coming. The next turning point is coming again. When is it going to come? How is it going to look? And I was still attaching my hopes to those dreams. And I was tying them to when and how I expected them to happen. But then I turned 30, and that was my next big turning point. And I realized my dreams were clashing with the way God was writing my story, and I was living future-focused again. And I was thinking, when is it going to come? When am I going to be normal like my friends? And I've been to so many weddings, and oh, this is what adults do. Maybe it's coming around the next corner. But I was still not really focused on my present. And so I went through my 30th year trying to really wrestle with my expectations, my dreams, and understanding that God's timing is different than my timing, and the way He writes our stories may not always look like we expect them to. But I needed to let go of these bigger dreams and really see that my life was good right now. I could be content in my right now, and I could start to focus on being presently placed and not really worry about things that hadn't happened yet, because I didn't need to put my hope on those dreams. I really needed to rest my hope in God and what He was already doing. So my biggest question that I would think would be, am I going to focus on what I lack or what I already have? And that helped me to see, like, there are really good things right now. I'm already chasing a writing dream. I'm building new friendships. I'm doing things like running races. Because last year, a friend and I ran a half marathon. And I thought, that's not really something I can do. But my friend was willing to come into my life and practice running with me. We have a little jogger, and she pushes me around our neighborhood to practice. And then last year we did a rock and roll half marathon, and we finished. And that was a fun, simple dream that I had, but I didn't think it could happen, and it did. And so I learned to stop really comparing my life to what I envisioned or what my friends' lives look like, and embrace the story I am living right now, to love my right now and see the gifts that God had already provided, and that helps you to wait for whatever is coming in the future, because your dreams might really change a little bit too. So the biggest verse that can help me think about that is Lamentations 3:22-24. Because of the Lord's great love, we are not consumed, for His compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. I say to myself, the Lord is my portion. Therefore I will wait for Him. And another version of that says, I will hope in Him. And so that means, like, our hope. We can't just say we have hope in God one time. We have to refresh our hope all the time, because if we start looking ahead into the future, then we're going to be discontent and not really love where we are. And that takes away the joy of living our lives right now. So that was the kind of the thing I had to remind myself. Yeah, there's really fun things right now, there's really good things. And the other thing is our stories, they don't unfold in one giant plan. We have to see the small steps, because God moves us forward in one little step at a time. So you move from middle school to high school, that's like one step. Then you move on to college, and life after that, and adulthood, and find your first job. Like, you don't go to college maybe knowing what your job after college is going to be. You take it one little step at a time. And that way we all learn to focus on the right now and learn to hope in God right now and see what He is doing. That helps us to find dreams unfulfilled? Are you guys ready to get out of school for the summer? Yeah, but you still have a little bit more time, and you're probably surrounded with your friends and your teachers you really like, so you can learn to just accept right now where God has you, and to love you right now, and not rush to that next thing, the next season, the next dream. To not live with your eye only on the future, but to live with your heart in the present. And so during my 30th year, as I was wrestling through all my questions and my dreams, I also came up with something I call the Limitless Manifesto, and I wrote it, and I'm going to read it to you guys today. It says, I am not my limitations, not my weaknesses, not what I can't do. I am so much more. I am not my fears, not my worries, not my doubts. I am so much more. I am not defined by limits in my body, limits in my mind, limits in my heart. I am so much more. I will not feed my insecurities, my expectations, my obstacles, but I will fight for my faith, for my peace, for my joy every single day and night. I will choose to see what I can do, who I can be, who God made me. I will learn to embrace courage over fear, risk over worry, action over doubt, thrive over survive, love over limits. I am not my limitations. I am so much more. And so a manifesto is like a public declaration or a mission statement for my life, and I actually brought a worksheet for you guys to either do during the school day or when you go home later, and you can fill out the blanks and create your own manifesto and have that as a reminder that whatever limits you feel, whatever fears you have, or whatever dreams you don't see fulfilled yet, that doesn't matter. You have right now, and God is bigger than all those things, and you have value where you are right now, and your story is important right now, and that could be a reminder that you see. You can hang it on your bulletin board or wherever you want to put it. And then I will leave you with another verse that is like my verse of my year. It's from Romans 15:13. May the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in him, so that you may overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit. Thank you. And now, if anyone wants to ask me any questions, I'm glad to answer questions about anything you want to ask.
All right, where did you go to college and how did that work?
Okay, I went to Longwood University, and I had caregivers that came throughout the day, and then as I met friends, they would come stay in my room each night, so it was kind of like I had a sleepover every night. One friend would take Sunday nights or Monday nights, and we just kind of worked that way.